And I want to ask you today, what's the attitudes of your heart that are laced with pride and influenced by pride that's causing you to consider things that God would never have you consider? Let me talk to you about the origin of pride. If you want to, flip to Isaiah chapter 14. And I want to talk to you about maybe one of the most profound scriptures in the entire Bible, because this is a snapshot of Lucifer and what was happening in the Bible. Isaiah 14 verses 12 through 15 says this. It says, "How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Says how you are cut down to the ground, and you who weaken the nations." Verse 13, "For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I also will sit on the mountain of the congregation on the farthest side of the north. And I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit." Now, I want to give you a couple of things about Lucifer for those who don't know. I think Fox had a show called Lucifer, and they had some goofy dude pretending to be the devil. That's not real, but I want to give you some real Bible, amen? Come on, everything you see on television is not real. Amen. Everything you see on Facebook and Instagram is not real. Everything that comes on syndicated television is not real. But everything that's in the Bible is real. Amen and amen. So let's talk about Lucifer. Lucifer is one of the original 3 archangels that's found and mentioned in the Bible, alongside of number 1, Michael, who is the warrior angel. Number 2, Gabriel, who is the messenger angel. And then 3rd, Lucifer, the worshiper or the worshiping angel. Lucifer, in his pre-fallen condition, his name was Lucifer, which means light bearer or day star. However, after his fall, the Bible refers to him as Satan or the devil, as well as several other names. What was the sin that Lucifer committed that caused him to be evicted in heaven? For those who know, if you've been a landlord, the reason why you evict people is because they violate the conditions to which you have agreed to allow them to rent your property. And Lucifer was in heaven occupying space, and he had a job description, but he got evicted from heaven because he violated the principles that God set before him. So what was his sin? Lucifer's sin was the sin of pride. He was considered the most beautiful being in heaven. In 2 Corinthians 11:14, Satan is said to have masqueraded as an angel of light. So the image of Satan is not this grotesque, off-putting image. Many times we think of Satan as he has a pitchfork and he got 2 little horns sticking out of his head, and he has this little long, creepy, pointed beard, and he walks around and makes weird noises. But the image that the Bible gives is he masquerades as an angel of light. And matter of fact, even the way that he operates and moves is very attractive and alluring, because his nature is not to scare you, but it's to get you to come in agreement with him. Because if he walked around the way that Hollywood portrays him, all of us would be like, devil, keep it moving. I'm not messing around with you. But if he presents something that looks like it's of benefit and it's attractive, then what he does is he baits us in. See, any good fisherman knows that you never just throw a hook in the water, but you always put a piece of shrimp or a piece of chicken or a piece of fish on, because the goal is never to get the fish to see the hook. The goal is to always get them to see the shrimp so that they're attracted to something, but the intention is to pull them in and snatch life away from them, not for the thing that they're scared of, but the thing that they are attracted to. So Satan will never come to you in the form that will scare you. He will always come to you in the form that is pleasant and peaceful. And here's the thing about Adam and Eve. In the book of Genesis, when he came to Eve, apparently the serpent was not a scary creature, because otherwise Eve would have ran away from him. But what he was is he was very inviting and very pleasant. And he was someone that Eve felt comfortable having a conversation with. So be careful with something or someone that is very attractive or alluring, because could that be the bait that the enemy is getting to get you so close to something that you need to be the furthest away from because it looks so attractive? Come on, everything that shines is not gold, and everything that blings is not a diamond. Don't be moved and don't be fooled just because it looks attractive. Let's look at verse 13. Because Satan's pride is based upon external factors, things outside of himself. Verse 13 says this. Satan said, or Lucifer said, I have said in my heart, I will ascend to the heavens, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, and I'll sit on the mount of the congregation on the far sides of the north. Let's look at the attributes of pride that Lucifer exhibited. Number one, pride starts in the heart where no one can see it. When we talk about pride, we're talking about an inward attitude that eventually releases as an outward manifestation or behavior. Amen? It's an inward attitude that eventually manifests as an outward action or behavior. Lucifer's pride started in his heart where no one could see it, but it eventually led to him leading 1/3 of the angels out of heaven. So when you hear the terminology demons, demons are fallen angels. Lucifer was able to convince 1/3 of all of the angels to leave God from a perfect heaven and to be cast down with him and condemned to hell and sent here to the earth because he was so persuasive. But it didn't start with his outward actions. It started with the attitude of his heart. And I want to ask you today, what's the attitudes of your heart that are laced with pride and influenced by pride that's causing you to consider things that God would never have you consider?